Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at our soft pastel assortment and we're using some Versamark and we're going to be doing a technique which I actually discovered from one of my lovely subscribers who actually has started her own channel. So please go across and give her some love. The channel is Crafty Sandy's Cards. So Crafty Sandy's Cards, and she's in Australia, and she was doing a lovely technique on her last video, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that, and I think it's going to be absolutely lovely. So our soft pastel assortment are pastel chalks, and they come in a variety of colours. You can get them in the annual catalogue. I will put a link down below. I've chosen the blues and the yellows for the card that we're going to do today. So what I've done, I've just sort of started it off. I've got a block. You can use a palette if you want to. I use the little palette knife from the Take Your Pick tool, and you literally just take your chalk and you scrape. So you scrape down the side and you will get some of the powder of the chalk off, and you can then use that. So I'm looking at these three colours. We might add some more in, I don't know. You know what I'm like. I sort of craft on the hoof and see what it looks like. And the stamp set we're going to use is the Colour and Contour, because I like this particular shape. I think that's very pretty. Might do some leaves, might not, might just be all the flower, but we're going to be using this image. And instead of ink, you are going to be using Versamark. Now Versamark is it's what we use for embossing, and it is a clear, sticky ink, for want of a better word. And it's, as I say, it's completely clear. It's sort of sticky. You can do all sorts of different techniques with it, but I thought that this one, when I saw it, was so much fun and worked so well that I thought, oh, okay, I will show it and give credit to Crafty Sandy's Cards for giving me the idea. So we need a piece of Whisper White, which I've just cut, and I'm doing a blue background because I think the blues and the greens, so we're going to have the white and the blue, and I think that this is Night of Navy, possibly. It might be the Misty Moonlight, but it really doesn't matter. The colours you choose doesn't matter. So what we're going to do first of all is we are going to take the Versamark and we are going to put an image in, and I'm putting it right at the top, slightly sort of off, really doesn't matter. Pop my lid back on for a minute. And the best way to do it is to do it sort of one at a time, because if you're trying to do the others, you can get your hands over it. So we're going to take a sponge dauber and we're going to pick up a bit of this blue onto our sponge dauber. Now I probably will have a little bit of scrap. Let me do a little bit of scrap here just to make sure that I haven't got it too much on there for what I want to do. And then all we're going to do is we're going to very gently tap it over where the Versamark is, and it reminds me of those sort of magic pictures that we used to do when we were children. because it really just, it appears literally like magic. So as I say, I'm tapping it on to start off with, and then I can just gently rub it in so that it just comes through and gives a beautiful outline, and it's colouring in the centre as well. Now I'm also going to, because I want to do a couple of colours with this, I'm taking another sponge dauber, and I want to have the yellow in the centre of each one of these. So I'm going to take the yellow. I need to just make sure that I've taken the excess off of here, so I'm going to blow it, because being a powder it blows quite easily, because I don't want to mix the blue and the green, because otherwise you will end up with a rather sort of mucky colour coming in. So I'm going to put this one in on the centre very lightly, and again I just want to blow it away. And then I think I want to use a little bit of the I think it's Coastal Cabana, just in on the outside here, just to add a little bit of extra colour through. And again I'm just blowing it because I don't want to mix those colours in too much. Okay, so that's one. Let's do another one, and I think I'm probably going to do a cluster of 3, so I'm actually going to do 2 this time. So I'm going to have one there. Make sure I do it this way up, and I'm going to do another one in down on here like that. Put the top back on, have it, and then we can do, and I think you can do it sort of, you know, you can do it fairly quickly, you know, you don't have to do it too slowly. But I think it's the way it just appears like magic, I think is just incredible. So we're going to do 2 of these, and because it's powder it just sticks absolutely perfectly. So that's that one. I'm going to do the turquoise bit in the middle next, I think. So let's just do this around the side, so you just get a different colour. But as I say, you can do it, you can see I'm doing it quite quickly now in on there, and then I'm just going to blow the excess off because it's only a little bit of powder, and then I want to do the yellow in the centre here. So just a little rub of the yellow, rub of the yellow on there, and then I'm just going to blow that off like that, which I think is really rather pretty. And then now, do I do it, I think I'm probably going to do it all the way across and have them as sort of pretty little daisies. So let's have a look and see how many we can do. I'm going to turn it round the other way and see if we can do some. So I'm going to have one there, one there, and we'll have one in on there. So that's 3, and then we're going to quickly colour those in. As I say, once I've started, it is quite quite a fun thing to do, and it goes, and you can do it, as I say, really quite quickly. But it just gives these beautiful colours because you can blend as you go. So it's something that you also don't need very much. Great thing for somebody who's just starting out, because you don't have to buy an awful lot of colours, and it just, I think it looks so pretty. I really do. I'm very impressed, and thank you so much for giving me the inspiration on this. Like everything, I always put my own sort of twist on things, and that's the lovely thing about, you know, when you've got other people's ideas for inspiration. You know, do always try and give some credit where credit's due, because it's really rather nice to have, you know, to share. We're a community. I've always said, you know, stamping, we're a community, and, you know, being a community, we should be sharing things all the time. Okay, so I've got that in there, which I really do quite like, but I do want to, I need to have sort of one off at the corner here so that it's not too much on the inside. And I want to do something, contrasting in those gaps. You know me for sort of building backgrounds and things. So have I got anything tiny in on here? I have got sort of leaves. I'll tell you what I have got. Let's try this. I've got the splatter. Let me see if I can put a splatter across with this. And I want to do the splatter in a completely contrasting colour. So what I might do with the splatter is do it in a very dark, not quite sure how dark the old olive is going to be, but I'm going to just put some splatters across. I've got to be careful. I can see them, but I know that you can't. So I want to have some sort of cross on there, out a bit on there, and that might be okay. Let's have a little go with it and see. So with this, I'm going to take the dark old olive, which hopefully is going to be dark enough to give a contrast. Right, let's see about that then. So I need to take another sponge dauber because I don't want to mix them. And so this is the dark, or is the old olive, which is a dark green. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this is going to give yes, it is. Look at this. So it does show that you can, trying to make sure that I don't stick my finger on where I haven't added the Versamark to just give a little bit of background. I think I put a little bit in on here. Let's have a look on this bit. Just a little bit. Let me blow this off and see. Whoops. Okay, so that's sort of coming. It needs to be a little bit more. Let's just put this on here. To take it a little bit more in between, because What you don't want is for it to be look too blobby. So I'm just adding this sort of in between where I've got some. Put this on here because I didn't actually, I was rubbing it through and I hadn't even what do you call it, I hadn't even put any Versamark in. So let me just take this off. Okay, so I've got a little bit on my mat, but it doesn't matter too much. Okay, so that's given sort of a bit of an abstracty bit at the end. Now, what about going around the side of the card to just give a bit of definition on there? So I might, and I had done it in blue, but I'm going to just again to see. So you can use the chalk to go around your sides, pick it up from here. Now it is, it will sort of come off a bit, so I need to sort of pick it up because, as I say, it's chalk. Okay, now let's try it another way. Rather than doing, I'm trying to do it with the powder, let's take the side. That worked better. So we're taking the chalk down on the side on here because I just want to take the edge in a bit. Obviously I'm getting some little bits coming off on the side, but I don't think that that will matter too much. So I'm just going all the way round like that. And then I can take the sponge and just make sure that it's just rubbed through on the edge, because I want to just tone all of that down a little bit so that I've got just some of the green coming through, so it's not quite so blobby. It needs to be just sort of blended through in here so that these white spaces have got some of this nice green in. And as I say, we could have done leaves and things, but you know me, I do quite like a bit of abstract in on there, and I think it works just quite well with that. Okay, so let's blowing all my pieces. So I'm going to put this on here, and now what I need to do is to see, let me take, I've got a piece of sort of clean, cleanish kitchen roll. So I'm literally just going to dust this off because I don't want it to come off on the card. And really rather good, as you do that, it brightens the whole thing up. So you're taking the where the Versamark is, it stays on beautifully, but the rest of it, all that sort of residue will come off. And you then have, look at that, I'm quite impressed with that. You then have, let me put it on the blue base that we're going to use. So put that on there, that really sort of tones it in quite nicely. And then all we need to do is to put a sentiment on there. So sentiment I'm going to use from the same set. So what about Here For You, I think is quite good. So let's have a look for turn this round. Here For You. And I'm going to do that with just a little. I need to get another block out because I've got bits on my other blocks, haven't I? So I don't know whether it'll fit on this one. It might be a bit big. It should be all right, I think. Just So I'm going to put this in on here. Oops. Like that here for you. And I need a little scrap, so I've always got little scraps on the side. So little scrap like that. And then I'm going to put, I think I'm just going to do it in Memento. Don't think I need to do, I could do it in the blue. Yes, I should really do it in blue, shouldn't I? Because that would contrast quite nicely. So let me just get getting my Misty Moonlight out, and then I can just stamp that in there, so that gives it the bit of the blue. Here for you now. It's quite nice to contrast that, or keep the colours the same, because we've got blues in on there. And then I'm just going to take, I think this might be a bit big, the retard punch, but yeah, it is. It's not going to be big enough, so I'm going to have to do a bit of hand trimming on that. So let me just get my scissors, and I could cut it out in a using a die, but because I wanted to show that this is going to be a very sort of simple, easy card to do, I'm just cutting it sort of straight out. Not particularly straight, but it'll do. And I would probably put that in maybe just about there now, like that. In fact, I might even do it just as a, rather than doing it up, why don't we do it as a one layer card, keeping it really simple, and then we can put the here for you now, and then it'll be interesting to see how it stamps over the chalk. So I can always add a sentiment over the top if I completely screw it up and it won't stamp over there, but I think just here, yes, that works perfectly. So you can stamp over it, as I said, and I think it just looks, it looks so pretty. Excuse the mess underneath, but you know, you can do all sorts of, well, anything you want really. We haven't got browns and things in there because I was going to do it with some of the trees and things, but we're relatively limited with colours, but I suppose you could do quite a bit of blending, which I haven't tried yet, so and blending colours, but a really lovely technique. Just using Versamark and our pastel chalks. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.